Chelsea return home to Stamford Bridge after a successful trip to Greece in midweek, with our eyes now set on the first of two games back-to-back versus Newcastle United. The Blues will be hoping to clip the wings of the Magpies and break down those castle walls. But who will start, and how can we best our opponents in this match? Lads, lasses and the rest of the masses, welcome back to the lead-in. Let's go. So let's firstly set the scene and then we'll get into some predicted lineups. It's Chelsea versus Newcastle, another fixture with enormous history, spanning all the way back to 1907 in the old Division 1, just 2 years after the establishment of our club. Chelsea have historically got the best of the tune, but recent results have been a bit hit and miss for us. We've won 3 out of our last 6 games versus them, but with a draw and a couple of losses mixed in there as well. Let's briefly touch on our opponents first, then we'll talk about Chelsea's lineup. Newcastle are doing slightly worse than I think they'd expect from themselves, sitting in 9th place after 8 matches played. They've won 3 games, lost 3 games, and have a couple of draws to complete their record, but their current form leaves a little to be desired. They are winless in 4 games, with only 1 win from 5. They'll be hoping to bounce back after another rather toothless performance versus Brighton last weekend. Let's take a look at their transfer business this summer. It was largely uneventful if I'm being honest. For their outgoings, their biggest loss was Elliot Anderson, who's doing well at Nottingham Forest now, and Yankuba Minter being the only other notable loss to Brighton. The incomings don't really improve either, to be honest, with them making Lewis Hall's loan permanent, signing Vlachodimos as another backup goalkeeper, and Lloyd Kelly coming in on a free. The biggest acquisition for them in truth was Sandro Tonali returning from his large suspension. Despite the lack of transfer activity though, their team is still mightily strong, so that being said, let's talk about the possible lineup for our opponents. Firstly, let's talk absentees. The Magpies have a decent chunk of players out for this fixture. Callum Wilson picked up a fresh injury setback, and he joins Sven Botman, Kieran Trippier, Jamal Lascelles, Garan Kual, Matt Targett, and Martin Dubravka on the sidelines. Dan Burn is fit and ready to play despite the knock to the ankle he received versus Brighton. I'll be putting Eddie Howe's side into the classic 4-3-3 formation that they've used throughout the regular season. First up in goal is going to be Nick Pope. The English shotstopper will start of course, especially since his backup Martin Dubravka is injured. The defence is going to remain the same from the Brighton game, so starting with the right back, it's going to be the first of 2 ex-Chelsea boys in this backline, Tino Livramento. The centre-back partnership is the same as before. As Sven Botman and Lascelles are out, we'll see the duo of Fabian Schär and Dan Burn in the right and left centre-back spots. Finally, over on the left will be ex-Chelsea Academy product Lewis Hall. Moving into the midfield, we'll start on the right. The first of the 3 will be the no longer suspended Italian Sandro Tonali. In the centre, I'd expect to see Brazilian Bruno Guimarães, and finally, rounding out the midfield will be Bruno's national teammate, fellow Brazilian Joelinton. That leaves just the 3 attackers left, so starting on the right, I'm going to be changing things here. I'd expect Harvey Barnes to come in for Jacob Murphy, as Newcastle tried to find a solution to their small dry spell. Over on the left, I don't expect change however, as Anthony Gordon retains his place, and will likely have the tough test of Reece James to beat. Finally, up top will be the big Swede, Alexander Isak, who will be looking to notch against Chelsea once again. That's just a brief look at what their team could look like. With us playing 2 games in quick succession against them, they might switch things up for this first game. Now let's turn our attention to Chelsea and see what our lineup for this game could be. I can't honestly believe I am saying this, but for the first time in what seems like centuries, Chelsea have every player available to use. No injuries, no suspensions, no absentees at all. So, with that being said, I'll be putting Enzo Maresca's Chelsea team in the 4-3-3 formation once again, with wholesale changes from the team that beat Panathinaikos last time out. Starting with the goalkeeper, I'm going to be putting in Robert Sanchez. After another rather shaky performance from him versus Liverpool, he'll be hoping to get back to his best in this one. For the back 4, it's going to be switching completely from the midweek game. Starting on the right, the obvious inclusion is captain Reece James, who plays for a 2nd Premier League game in a row. For the centre-back partnership, as we have no suspensions anymore, it's a return to the partnership of Wesley Fofana and Levi Colwill in the right and left centre-back spots respectively. Finally, over on the left, I'm going to be regrettably putting in Malo Gusto. I don't think this is his best position, but as Vega and Cucurella both played in midweek, I don't expect either to start here. Moving into the midfield, this picks itself in my opinion. Starting with the holding player is going to be Romeo Lavia. In the more advanced midfield roles, this changes slightly from what we've been seeing recently, as Enzo Fernandez played in the Conference League game. Cole Palmer and Moises Caicedo start together, with the latter occupying a more box-to-box role. Ahead of them in the attacking roles, let's start on the right. Noni Madueke starts once more, and we'll be hoping to have more of an impact this time around. Likewise, on the left side will be Jadon Sancho, who will also be looking for an improved performance from the Liverpool game. Finally, up top will be Nicholas Jackson. The Senegalese has been quietly racking up the goal contributions this season and will be expected to notch again here as he leads the line. Apart from that, I think this is a solid team and perfectly capable of beating Newcastle if we play well, and we'll talk about how in a little bit. But before we do, it's time for today's comment question of the day, so answer me this. Simple one today, what is your predicted 11 for this game, and why? Let me know in the comments down below with QOTD at the start as always, and I'll heart my favourite answers. Now let's take a look at how Chelsea can navigate this game tactically, and see how we can beat the Magpies in this game. But before that, I just wanted to ask you guys to follow me on my other socials, the main one being my Twitter, or X. Over 18,000 of you subscribe to me on this channel, but only 400 of you follow me over there. If everyone that's watching this video could follow me over there, we could easily hit over 1,000 on that account, I believe. I live tweet every single Chelsea game, and I'm also allowed to be a bit more unfiltered over there, so you're missing out. Also, if you like shorter content, I do have a TikTok too. I've been recently posting some teasers on my YouTube shorts, but the full videos will be on my TikTok, and that's where I'll be kind of doing more fun, less analytical, and a bit more jokey things and or rants. So for that type of content, you can go see me over there. I appreciate you guys as always, and hope to see you guys over on those other platforms too. Now let's get back to the video. Alright, so here we have the team, and as usual, let's change it into the way that we all play in game. This one's a bit of a different one because obviously we've got Gusto playing on this left hand side, and usually it's pretty simple with a left footer on this side that we could invert the right side and play them into the centre, and then the left hand sided player can obviously play as this left centre back. But obviously with Gusto in the middle, we do something different, and obviously Gusto will be the one to do this inversion with Lavia staying in the holding role. And this kind of shifts us around a little bit weirdly, because obviously then we get Colwill playing in this kind of wider position, which he's not really used to. We get Fofana playing in this kind of central position, which he's more used to being out on the right hand side. And then obviously James playing as a right-sided centre-half, which doesn't particularly suit him that well, even though he is very good defensively. Now, we saw this in the last game. And because Cucurella obviously played in midweek against Panathinaikos, I don't think he will play again. He could play again, and if he does, that does change things. Obviously, Cucurella can then play as this left-sided centre-half, and then James can invert into the middle and kind of play in that box-to-box role that we've seen Gusto play for a couple of games this season. But the thing which this does in this setup, and why this is kind of interesting, is because we get to see this weird, really weird, very interesting position that Gusto plays, because he doesn't actually invert into the midfield too, so this holding two. He actually goes more into where Caicedo or Enzo Fernandez, when he plays, will play, and he plays as this kind of inside 10 as Caicedo plays further back. So we get to see Gusto actually almost acting as one of the attacking mids, and obviously it's basically just this one channel here that he kind of operates in. He'll end up in these positions, but he'll also come back to defend, and it's just this one kind of half space that he occupies whilst doing this. But it is interesting to see where he kind of ends up. So for the most part, I think we're gonna be seeing us setting up in this way. And obviously Gusto will be trying to link up with Sancho on this left-hand side, link up with Jackson when he can, but the majority of the time, a lot of what he's going to be doing is off the ball. So he's not only going to be getting into these advanced positions, but he's mainly going to be the outlet. So if the ball does go wide to Sancho, he can make the run here and kind of get into these advanced positions, or make the overlap if he wants to, as he's a right footer, and he's not someone like Cucurella, who could also play in this position, who does like to do this too. He's going to be more focused on going on the inside. We kind of been seeing that in the Liverpool game. We saw him doing this a lot, and I personally don't think that he had the best game when we were playing Liverpool. And in general, I don't think this position really suits him. If we are kind of forced into doing this because we don't have another player that can kind of play here that's left-sided, so that's kind of unfortunate. But I do think that this will happen. The other option that we could do is maybe play James there. Again, these two are kind of interchangeable because they're both right backs. But again, I don't think James would play in this. This is such an advanced position. Personally, I would prefer to see kind of Gusto playing as this right-sided centre half, and then James be one of the inverters, with Lavia coming over here and then James coming into this position. I think this would suit us more, but obviously we kind of saw Gusto play in this right-sided centre half position right at the end of the Liverpool game when we made substitutions, and it does suit him a lot more, but I don't think we'll see this from the start because of just how it kind of functions from the 4 at the back, because obviously this doesn't really work when we're actually playing the game, because obviously Gusto would come over and then we've got this, and this is just really weird. So for the most part, this is kind of what I expect us to kind of play like. We get this kind of, as I said, it's the box midfield that we usually see, but it's not just the box midfield. We kind of see this diamond happening with Palmer obviously going to be hitting advance, and one of either Lavia or Caicedo will kind of move up a little bit further, but these two will kind of hold whilst Gusto and Palmer kind of act as the more advanced players here. Now, we've been seeing a lot of the time, and we'll probably see it in this Newcastle game, but Palmer has been getting man-marked pretty much every single game this season, and I expect that to continue in this game, and we'll kind of talk about that as we talk about Newcastle United here, because let's talk about our opponents, and I'm going to set them up in the way that they play. Obviously they're going to be playing in this 4-3-3, and I've put the forwards in first specifically because the way that the midfield operates is very important to Newcastle and their kind of identity, and to the point where I am actually going to be labelling the midfielders so we can kind of get a grasp of how they're going to play. Now, Newcastle as of late can be described in very short amount of words. Defensively solid but toothless. Creating chances hasn't been too much of an issue for them. Obviously we saw them create quite a lot of chances in the Brighton game, but finishing in this final third has been a real issue all season. And I'm going to show the stats here, I'll put them on screen. They are the 4th lowest goal scorers in the league with only 8 goals. Their top goal scorer is Harvey Barnes with 3 goals, and to give that a bit more perspective, we have over double that with 17, whilst playing a similar calibre of teams. So they've obviously played City, we've played Liverpool, they've played Spurs, and then the rest of the teams that they've kind of faced are kind of those mid-table, weaker teams that we have also been facing. Now, admittedly, injuries have been hampering them a little, and I will give them that excuse because, as we saw from earlier in the video, they do have quite a lot of injuries out. I don't think that's particularly going to affect them too much in the offensive phase. The only real player that's kind of out injured at the moment who could kind of contribute to the offense is Callum Wilson, but I don't think he would be much of an improvement on Isak, if I'm being honest, so I'm not too sure if that worked, but the defensive absentees definitely have hit them, and that is probably why some of their form hasn't been as good. Now, on the flip side of that is obviously their incredible defensive record. They have only conceded 8 goals themselves, which is the 3rd best in the league. Now, and the majority of that is down to this midfield that I've kind of highlighted here, with Tonali, Guimaraes and Joelinton, because these 3 are all high energy, defensive and very industrious midfielders, right? They not only we have this obviously this really good midfield, but we have the 2 fullbacks, Lewis Hall and Livramento. Those 2 are absolutely class. We know that firsthand, being Chelsea fans, how good they were for us, and they never really got the chance to shine. And also, despite them not having their first choice centre back duo, they actually have a really solid back line in the centre backs too. Now, what is kind of the strengths and weaknesses of this Newcastle team? Obviously, we can broadly say that finishing has been one of their weaknesses. We can broadly say that defending has been one of their strengths, but the thing which I want to highlight is the way that they press in midfield. And I've kind of spoken about this before, I spoke about this a lot last year, but the way that they press the ball is very, very impressive, because they are, unlike what we kind of discussed with Liverpool, where Liverpool try and press you into the centre of the pitch and force you to make some mistakes in the centre of the pitch and give the ball away, what Newcastle like to do is they like to give you time and space on the ball out wide. And once you've got it into these wide positions, say with James, or more likely someone like Madueke, if he's onto the ball, and then they absolutely squeeze you to the touchline. This player will come back, Joelinton will come out here, the fullback will squeeze, and what this does is it basically they utilise the pitch and the, well, lack of pitch, should I say, to their advantage, where now, because of this obviously being a straight line, you only have 180 degrees that you can actually operate in here, and if they cut off the other angles, then Madueke can't go anywhere. And what this usually leads to is either misplaced passes, so the ball gets sprayed out somewhere in the middle, that can be then contested by Bruno, or Tonali if he's in the centre. These two kind of interchange quite a lot, because they both can kind of play in this defensive role or a little bit further up. Joelinton, obviously, of the three, is the more advanced midfielder. I would suggest. Obviously, him being an ex-striker, I feel like he's the more attack-minded of the three. Though, obviously, Bruno is a good creator in his own right. But when you kind of give the ball away in these scenarios, not only can they just win the ball off you and then spring counterattacks down the wings, because the wide areas are where they can get success. Obviously, they have Barnes, Gordon, they have Jacob Murphy, who's been playing a lot of games recently. Those kind of transitions are where they can really thrive, because one thing that they have so good is because of how defensively solid they are and how good that base is. It forces them into a kind of a bit of a kind of negative play style in a way, but it's such a good solid play style that they can rely on, because they know they're not going to have many troubles in this defensive third. They know that they can rely on their defenders, they know they can rely on this solid midfield three, and when they do get the opportunity to go forward, as I said, the front three for Newcastle had just been really, really good since last season, and it's kind of surprising how poor they've been in terms of finishing. As I said, Harvey Barnes is the top goal scorer with 3 goals, and it's very odd to see Isak not getting many goals. But the one which is really, really weird is Anthony Gordon on this left-hand side has been so void of confidence, I think is what I would say. And in general, I think their forward line has been a bit void of confidence, and they just don't seem like they can score. And I don't think that's just down to the fact that they're not finishing their chances. It's also just the fact that the chances that they are making aren't clear chances. A lot of the chances that they get are shots from outside the box. Obviously, we saw Cher score an absolute screamer from outside the box. We've seen Harvey Barnes bend one into the far corner from this type of position. A lot of the chances they get are half chances. They do not create very many big chances. Now, I've actually got the stats here for this. They only have 14 big chances created in the entire team. Like the entire squad, not just the first 11, the entire squad, they only have 14 big chances created so far this season. To put that into perspective, Cole Palmer has 9 alone. That is incredible, the fact that they have 5 more in their entire squad than one player in our team has. And that kind of goes to show, like, the problem that they've been having this season is the fact that they aren't creating those chances as much. And whether that's because they have now got Tonali in this midfield setup, and again, because he is more of a defensive midfielder, maybe this has made their midfield a bit too pragmatic and a bit too defensively minded. Obviously, when they had Longstaff playing, or Elliot Anderson, or Lewis Miley, who can come in here, they had one of their midfielders, or maybe even 2 if Joelinton was getting advanced as well, was a creative player, or was a player that's going to advance things in the final third for them. And now they don't seem to kind of have that. Obviously, we saw them play very, very well in the Brighton game, I would say. And I think a lot of the big chances created that have actually been attributed into that 14 stat were from the Brighton game, because they did create quite a lot. But obviously, Bartford Bruhan had a very, very good game. And in general, I think, again, they were a bit wasteful. They had so many opportunities to score, and they just weren't putting them away. And I can't really put that down to tactics. It is just a matter of confidence for these players. I don't think that they're bad players in any way. I think they genuinely are just, because once you miss one, you just kind of get into your own head. And obviously, as I said, Gordon has been one of those players that obviously he was playing against Everton, one of his former teams, and he had a very, very poor game against Everton. Obviously, we have, again, Isak, who was one of the best strikers in the league last year, and he's only got 1 goal this season, I believe. So it's a completely changed Newcastle team from what we've seen, and obviously they're so much further down the table than we kind of expect them to be. One thing that they do have going for them, though, and one thing that I think they will try and utilise against us in this game, why I think it's quite imperative, is the fact that because they have such a big, strong team in general, obviously set pieces are going to be big for them. They've got 6'5" Dan Burn in the left back spot, for example. They've got Bruno, they've got Joelinton. These are all very, very tall, strong players. it's the thing which they're going to strive in this game is not only the fact that they can play direct. Obviously, Isak again is another player that's quite tall who can hold up the ball very well. Cher in this right centre back spot is a fantastic long passer and can pretty much hit anyone from deeper positions, whether he goes out to the wings or if he goes through the centre, and they can try and win the knock-ons. And I think that's going to be the main thing for this team, for this Newcastle team, that they're going to do well against us. I think the midfield in general is going to be like such a big battle here, because obviously we always talk about the fact that we try and outnumber midfields with the way that we invert, right? We have the 4 versus 3, that's kind of our thing. We try and compete against midfields, but our midfield isn't the most physical, it isn't the most tall, it isn't the most industrious of midfields. Obviously Lavia and Caicedo in their own rights are absolutely wonderful defensive midfielders. Caicedo, obviously, I personally believe Caicedo is the second best midfielder in the entire league in terms of a defensive player, but the problem is these two, despite how good they are, they can't really compete for the second balls and for those high balls in the air like Bruno can, like Joelinton can. And I think this is one thing that they're going to be able to try and do against us, and especially so if we've got Gusto playing in this midfield as well, who's again not very tall. Palmer is tall, but he's not a very big frame. I think they're just going to try and bully us as much as they can. When the ball goes into these midfield areas, and especially from, again, like a deep long ball that's kind of knocked back down, winning the second ball and springing their attacks from those wins in this centre is going to be something that we probably see quite a lot. And if Caicedo and Lavia aren't being able to do the counter pressing and snap into tackles and do the intercepting and that type of thing, I think they will create a lot of chances. And again, if they're not big chances, they will create half chances. Newcastle will always get chances in games, again, especially from like set pieces. If you get a set piece, they're going to have the chance to score from those. We just have to basically hope that we get another case of Newcastle being very wasteful, and in general keep on top of our defending and do our defensive work well, because that's something that we've kind of been seeing in recent games, is that we have been getting a bit lackadaisical in our defending at times. Obviously we saw in midweek with the rotated side, we saw us give away a goal to Panathinaikos late on because we got a bit lazy in that regard. We've seen it again in the Liverpool game, where we score our equaliser and then we shut off and we don't think properly and they score. It's those types of moments that are going to cost us against a team like Newcastle, who by all intents and purposes know that they need to take their chances now, because it's been happening for 4 games in a row where they just haven't been taking their chances, and they're going to have learned that, and they know that we are a team that can gift them goals. That is something we've been doing all season. We've kind of been scoring a lot of goals but not being as defensively responsible as we probably should be, and Newcastle will know that. Eddie Howe will know that. They'll set up their team in order to capitalise on those mistakes that we make, and obviously they know that we're a team that likes to play possession-based football. We like to take risks in the back when we have the ball with Sanchez. They're going to know that Sanchez is not the strongest distributor of the ball when he's under pressure. They know that they're going to do that. Obviously, Isak is always a willing runner and will be pressing. And the thing which I think is going to be very imperative for Newcastle to do against us is that press, right? If they get the press, and obviously we know that they press to the wide areas, they also press up high when teams are trying to play possession against them. If they force us to go long, like we've seen teams do to us at times with Sanchez playing long balls, I think that's going to suit them so much better than it will suit us, because again, if we're playing balls into the top end of the pitch, then Bruno, Joelinton, Dan Burn, Cher, they're going to win those aerial balls. We're not going to win those. Obviously, Jackson is a fantastic hold-up player if the ball can get to him, but I don't think that competing against Bruno and the 2 centre-backs, he's going to be able to do that. We've seen Bruno completely lock up Haaland in the City game they just put him on top of Haaland all game and he man-marked him, and I think that's something they'll probably do again today. But it's kind of a decision that they have to make here, because I spoke about this a little bit earlier, but obviously they can choose to man-mark Jackson, and Bruno might do that. But I think the thing they'll actually do more often in this game is actually man-mark Palmer. I think Bruno is going to be stuck on Palmer all game, because that's kind of what teams have been doing. They know now at this point that Palmer is our main outlet. They know that he's our most creative player. He's the danger man. And we saw against Liverpool that when Curtis Jones was put on Palmer and to do that job against him, it completely nullified him in that game. I don't think anyone kind of expected Palmer to be as poor as he was in that Liverpool game, and Newcastle will obviously be watching the tapes. They'll know that that's a thing that they can do to try and keep him quiet, and obviously Chelsea will know that that's a thing that they're going to be doing now, and we have to kind of navigate that ourselves. In terms of us actually creating chances ourselves, I think that Palmer is going to have to play a little bit deeper. I think he's going to have to drop deep into kind of the false 9 position that Jackson often takes up when he drops deep. I think he's going to have to kind of go a bit more central to get away from Bruno, and then be able to play the balls around the corner when that space opens up. Again, we're going to have this 4v3 in the midfield, and if we can create that extra man and kind of get that space out there, then Palmer, I think, will be able to create things. Obviously, against Liverpool, they had the inversion of Trent, who would come into the midfield, and they also just had the strong midfield 3 like they usually play, and that kind of gave them the numbers to kind of compete against this. Whereas against Newcastle, they don't really have that advantage. They don't really have a player that's going to kind of commit into the midfield. Obviously, they have Lewis Hall that will get really, really high. Tino, again, on the right hand side, he'll get high, but they won't really come into the midfield and supplement this. Obviously, Cher or can probably come into the midfield too. He's a player that's perfectly capable of doing that, but if he's occupied with Jackson, he can't really do that. And I think these kind of little pockets of space in these inside 10 roles is what's really going to define whether we can get success here. Once we progress the ball further, I think we kind of have to do the same principles that we've talked about all season. We need to create 1v1s, especially with our tricky players like Sancho, like Madueke on this other side. I think he's going to be very important for this game in terms of his drive and kind of ability to push into the box and create chances that way. And once we get into these advanced positions, there's one key thing that I want to mention about this game that we need to do, is that once we're here, the ball has to go low. We cannot be playing the ball across the box high, because even though Jackson has improved his heading, he is not going to be competing against Dan Burn. He's not going to be competing against Cher very much either, and he's not going to be competing against Bruno if Bruno is back here. I think everything needs to be on the floor, and obviously Nick Pope in goal, again, really, really tall goalkeeper, very, very good at high claims. Very, very good shot stopper in general, and it's going to be quite a difficult task to get past him, so we're going to have to keep everything low, keep it tight, and basically to prevent Newcastle from being able to play to their strengths, because I think that's what a lot of teams kind of fell for last season, is that they played into Newcastle's hand and just let them dictate the way that games go. And I think that we're a more experienced team now in this second season under Maresca, and we can definitely do that. And again, it's one of those things, we just need to get our creative players on the ball like Palmer. We need to create space for him. So my theory is that obviously they're going to be trying to do this man marking. We need to be able to create the avenues to get him space, and whether that's, again, Gusto kind of occupying this half space and being a problem for someone like Tonali. Obviously he's going to have to come back and deal with this, and once he's come back and deal with this, then we get Caicedo into this advanced position, and he's now the free man. It's all about making that spare man in midfield. And from here, can we do what we did against Liverpool, where we play that ball back to Caicedo, and then he plays the final pass through to Jackson because he's free and he's got all this space? I think we'll see a similar thing here, and that's kind of what we have to do. And can Jackson finish, and can he stay on side as well, because that's always a risk with Jackson? And can he finish once he gets into those positions? We've seen his finishing be much improved this season, so hopefully he can continue that. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the game. For a score prediction, I'm going to be predicting another win for Chelsea, but only just. I think the game will be very closely contested, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 result, with Nicholas Jackson scoring the only goal of the game. We'll have to wait until the game to see if any of my predictions are correct, and as always, I'll be live streaming immediately after the game with Feeling Blue to review the match, so make sure you come through if you are able. But if you can't wait until then, YouTube reckons you'll enjoy one of these 2 videos on screen in the meantime. Thank you guys so much for watching as ever, and remember, in the rain or in the dry, keep that blue flag flying high. Come on, you Blues.